right, gather around, folks. I've got a bone-chilling tale to share with you, one that happened to me on Valentine's Day a few years back. It's the kind of story that'll make you think twice about celebrating the day of love ever again. It all started innocently enough. I had been seeing this girl, Emily, for a few months, and I wanted to do something special for Valentine's Day. So I made reservations at this cozy little restaurant downtown and planned to surprise her with flowers and chocolates. As I was getting ready for our date, I couldn't shake the feeling that someone was watching me. It was like the hairs on the back of my neck were standing on end, and no matter how hard I tried to shake off the feeling, it persisted. I chalked it up to pre-date jitters and headed out to meet Emily. We had a lovely evening together, good food, great conversation, the whole 9 yards. But as we were leaving the restaurant, I noticed something out of the corner of my eye, a shadowy figure lurking in the alley across the street. I brushed it off as my imagination running wild and walked Emily to her car. We said our goodbyes, and I watched as she drove off into the night. But as I turned to head back to my own car, I saw the figure again, this time closer than before. I froze in my tracks, my heart pounding in my chest as I stared into the darkness. The figure seemed to be watching me, studying me with a cold, calculating gaze that sent shivers down my spine. I wanted to run, to scream for help, but something held me in place. It was like I was trapped in a nightmare, unable to move as the figure slowly began to approach me. I tried to muster up the courage to confront them, to demand answers for why they were following me. But before I could say anything, they disappeared into the night, leaving me standing there alone and terrified. I quickly made my way back to my car and drove home as fast as I could, constantly checking my rearview mirror to make sure I wasn't being followed. But no matter how hard I tried to shake off the feeling of unease, it lingered like a dark cloud hanging over me. The days turned into weeks, and I tried to put the incident behind me. But then, strange things started happening. I would receive anonymous letters in the mail filled with cryptic messages and ominous warnings. And whenever I went out, I couldn't shake the feeling that someone was watching me, waiting for the perfect moment to strike. I tried to brush it off as my imagination playing tricks on me, but deep down, I knew something wasn't right. I confided in a close friend about what was happening, and they urged me to go to the police. Reluctantly, I filed a report with the authorities, but without any solid evidence, there was little they could do. I felt like I was living in a nightmare, constantly looking over my shoulder and jumping at the slightest noise. And then, on Valentine's Day, exactly 1 year after the initial incident, I received a chilling message, a single red rose left on my doorstep, accompanied by a note that simply read, "I'll always be watching you." My blood ran cold as I realized the truth. The stalker from that fateful night had never truly gone away. They had been lurking in the shadows, biding their time, waiting for the perfect moment to strike. I knew I had to act fast before it was too late. I packed my bags and left town, desperate to escape the clutches of my relentless stalker once and for all. To this day, I still don't know who was behind the terrifying ordeal or what their motives were. All I know is that I'll never be able to shake off the feeling of fear and paranoia that haunts me every time Valentine's Day rolls around. And I pray that no one else ever has to experience the horror of being stalked by someone they can't escape.